So, I've been asked to tell a little bit about my story. 4 years ago, I moved back home to New Hampshire. I was divorced after being cheated on. I moved back home, lived with my dad's girlfriend who wasn't really thrilled with me, to put it nicely. We moved back here. I had already been sick. My kidney was acting up, and I wasn't feeling very well at the time when I moved back. I moved back home to New Hampshire from Florida, leaving all my friends there in Florida. Came back to nothing, just the clothes that I could literally carry in one backpack, and a laptop and a cell phone, and that was it. I started from scratch 4 years ago. The year after that, my dad's girlfriend left. That was, after a lot of arguments and different various things that happened, as she had decided to leave. A few months after that, my dad had a stroke. He was stripped of everything. He had no humanity left. He was gone. He didn't know anything. He didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was. He didn't know his brothers and sisters-in-law, that's his aunts, cousins. He didn't know anybody. He didn't know how to tie his shoes. He didn't know anything. That was a lot of hard work. I was also working full-time. He spent a month in the hospital. It was every day for a month, going back and forth from the hospital. For me, on top of working really long hours, I was working an average of 50 hours a week, taking care of things at home, taking care of the dog, taking care of my own life, trying to survive, and then for 6 weeks, Dad was in the nursing home getting therapy, learning how to be human again. He has 90% recovered. Praise Jesus for that. A year before that, I was saved on April 18th, which was in 2012. I was saved at Centerpoint Church in Concord, New Hampshire, by Pastor Butler. My friends Bob and Candy introduced me to God, and I started going to Bible studies, and learning about God and life, and a whole nother meaning. A year after my dad was home that year by Christmas in 2012, and he has pretty much recovered as good as he's gonna get. A year after that, I was diagnosed with lupus and fibromyalgia. I started having pain, mostly because my body was tired. It was tired from being stressed out for 6 to 7 months, and it was exhausted. I was exhausted, and I pretty much didn't want to function. I was going through a lot of pain, a lot of anxiety, because I was in so much pain that I couldn't function. I couldn't walk. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I literally couldn't walk more than 4 steps. It was pretty excruciating. But since then, through it all, without God, I wouldn't be here. God really shows up when you're having trials, because when nobody else is there, you have Him. There have been times when there's been nobody that's been able to be there. My friend Jess is always there. She's been there for everything. For doctor's appointments that nobody else was there to go to. For 3 o'clock crying fits when I was in pain and I didn't feel good in the morning. Because who else is up at 3 o'clock in the morning but your third shift friend? But there's been a lot of times where I just wanted to give in. I was crying couple times I called to God, if you're not going to heal me, then just end it. Make me go away. Because it's not fun anymore. And it was painful. It was really painful. A lot of people don't know what lupus is like. So I really hope this video will give you some insight as to the type of pain. And it's not pain that you see. It's pain that you feel. If you ever haven't had an anxiety attack, then you sort of know what lupus is like. But you are in so much pain that you just physically, you can't move. You can't breathe. You can't think. You can't do anything except just lie there and hope it ends sometime soon. Somehow, with a lot of people's help, a lot of people from church, I managed to get through it. I started exercising. I started losing weight. I started at 465 pounds, which is part of the problem of why I got lupus in the first place. In 4 years, I have managed to get down to 217 pounds. I still have a lot more to go. I still have another 75 pounds I'd like to lose till I can be where I'm supposed to be. But most of the pain is gone. The pain is tolerable. It's not excruciating. I can exercise. Before, I could not exercise. I could not walk. Through it all, I have learned who my friends are, who my friends aren't. I have gone through so many trials of dealing with patients, learning who people are, who the real ones aren't. Even the people that I only know on places like Facebook, that even those people have a great impact. And they may not know it, but I've also had people from high school who I didn't really think would ever be there for me. And they've been there as well. And they may not have been there in high school, but they have now. When it really mattered the most. And in general, it's been a tough ride, but I'm glad to come out on the other side of it all. And to know that there is a loving God, despite all the pain and all the suffering and all the misery that I have been through for 4 years, that it has not just been for the heck of it, that there is a reason for it, and someday there will be an amazing kingdom to be part of. And that itself is worth it. So if you're suffering and you need help, the one thing I suggest is just to call on God. Ask for Him to help you. And to just wait and listen. It may not happen right now. Healing doesn't always happen when you want it to happen. That's the biggest thing I've learned. And if it doesn't happen right then, just be patient. It will happen eventually. So, on that note, I'm going to let you go. I have talked enough. But I am thinking about you all. And I hope you all have a very blessed night.